In this tutorial, you will learn how to build your amazing giant batwing fireflower for Halloween decor. Welcome to Flowerpreneur TV, your go-to place for making flowers. Today, we will embark on the beautiful journey of our batwing fireflower, perfect for Halloween decor. Here's a kit, all the materials included. You can find it on the link below. Okay, so what's included in the kit? Let's check it out. We've got our 22 gauge wires for our petals and leaves, 22 and 18 gauge. Our amazing bendable PVC pipe, 39 inches tall. Glitter EVA foam for our leaves. Purple foam for our petals. And amazing orange for our firebud. We've also got the innovative 2-inch wide floral tape to wrap our stems and normal brown tape, floral tape. And of course, our instructions and templates. So everything is included in your kit so you can build this amazing giant batwing fireflower. So let's get started. First, let's set up a clean and dedicated workspace where we can bring our giant foam flower to life, clear an area, and ensure you have enough room to work comfortably and without any distractions. In addition to the kit, there are a few tools you will need to assist you in the process. For this project, you will need a hair styler, a heat gun, or an iron, whichever of the three is fine. You will also need scissors, needle nose pliers, your heat gun with silicone sticks, 3, 4, 5, 7-inch styrofoam balls, craft paint, oil pastels, or lacquer paint. Now that we have our workspace prepared, tools at hand, and familiarized ourselves with the materials in our kit, we are ready to embark on this creative journey. Join us in the next video as we guide you through the cutting process, shaping each petal and leaf with precision. Remember to cut out the provided templates on sturdy cardstock to ensure durability. So we will start with our piece for our petals, our batwing petals. So we get out our purple sheet and we are just going to cut it in 12 squares, 9-inch squares, and we are gonna, we fold it in half, make sure it's as half as possible, and we cut through here. And then we do the other half, put it sideways. So this should be 27 inches. And we cut again. We do another 12 inches. 9 inches, and we cut again. So we've got 9 strips. Now we're just going to cut. So here we're going to do 9 squares, 27. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is, yep, right there. Right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it straight through here, or I'm just going to grab my cutter. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. So we're going to cut right there. So I'm just going to cut all of them together. We got 9. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We cut another 9. And we have our 12 9-inch squares. So I have my template already cut out and start in cardstock. You have it in your and we are just going to start cutting, fold it diagonally, and we will cut out our template just like that. And make sure it goes all the way to the tip. So there's your bat wing cut out. So we do the same thing for all our 12 pieces. It's going to be a 12-piece Batwing Fireflower. So we continue this. We do one more. And we cut out. You may want to use some clips here. That always helps. And here's our second one. And we do this for 12 pieces. Now we're going to do our bud, and we get out our piece of foam from our kit, and we're just going to open it up and fold it in 3. We're going to do 9 bud pistils, which are like flower flames, fire flames. I'm sorry, fire flames, not flower. So I'm just going to do this, and then we're going to cut, and then we're going to cut through here. We're going to cut 3 strips this wide, and 1, 2, 3. And then we are just going to cut like 3. You're going to calculate, well, you have 3, something like that. It's easier, we just put a ruler here, and we go 1, and then a little bit of calculation, 2 right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5. So it's 13 inches, so you got to do 4.5. Yeah, I forgot. It's in the instructions. It's 4.5 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5 right here. I'm going to use my ruler. I don't have the small one here, so I'm going to have to use this one. So if you can see 1, 2, it's right at the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 right here, right there. And we're just going to, I'm going to cut through the whole, through the 4. So we got 4. Then we do the same, 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So you've got your 9 pieces of 4.5. The next part, you just fold it in half. You take your template, and I'm going to use a little just to hold it in place. and we're going to start cutting. So I cut like this, and then we're just going to make these little cutouts here. I'm in the middle of a recording, and yes, I do. And we are going to cut this out. And you see the dotted lines, they don't have to be perfect, but so you have this. And then once we have our I'm not going to cut the template out, but you're going to do this. You're just going to go through the same thing like this, and we're going to go through the same thing like that. I'm going to take this off through the cut dotted lines, so it's just kind of like curve out and go inside. These are going to be our little flames. So that's your cutout. Now let's repeat for the rest of them, and we want to round this off here just so it could be a little bit round out. So we're going to do this cutout for 9 pieces. So we are going to cut out our 2 leaves and our little leaves, which will just be to cover the wire. So we've got our PVA foam sheet from our kit, and we are just, I'm actually going to cut double through it, and we are just going to go through this template and get our leaves done. So it's pretty easy. I'm going to put a little clip on it, and we are going to go cutting. I'm going to cut double so I can get it done as fast as possible. So we got these. I'm just going to cut that, and I'll go through that part later. So I'm just going to go through cutting my template over my my foam, holding it in place. I should have the template cut out, but right now I'm just going to grab this little thing like this. I usually have them all cut out. Actually, I have them, but I wanted to show you kind of like a quick fix. I'm although I'm going to need this over here. So you just continue cutting through your 2 templates, and you cut your little leaves. You will have 6 little leaves, and I'm going to cut this off. And you continue cutting. So while we already cut this, and I want to show you all the little different templates I got from all our little cutouts. We've got all these. You only really need kind of 6, but look at how awesome. So you can have they're all like little teeth. There are from like approximately 1 inch wide, 3/4 inch wide. So you can use as many. They're 4 inches long, 2.5. Our template is this one. Is 3 inches times almost 1 inch wide. So we need kind of 6 of these, but you know, we got some leftovers that can be used. So we want to optimize all our little materials. I think I can't really much do about this, but so we've got that done, and we have our 2 beautiful Halloween leaves, which look so gorgeous. Now we're going to start thermoforming. So now we are going to start. We have our 12 cutouts, and we're going to start painting them. It's very simple. I have here It can be this. It can be, pastels. So we're going to do I'm going to use this one better. And just a little bit of dab, and we're going to go right through the middle in a dark black. This is like where we're going to fold up. So you're just going to put a little bit of black. And then from the center to these edges. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to thermoform. It just has to look darker. So we're going to go from here to here. So that's your you can use a cheesecloth. Now you can look through a little bit of splotches here and there because it's like that way. So we're going to do these something like that. And we're going to do it on both sides. You can use a paintbrush, a sponge. I'm using sometimes even a napkin. It doesn't have to be a perfect line. So we're going to try to follow the same line from here to here. It's like a little curvature. And this is the batwing. Let me just do a little bit of splotches here and there. Be circular. You give it your own style. So kind of something like that. So we're going to finish up the 12 and continue to thermoforming. So now we're going to paint. We have them all, our 9 bud fire petals cut out. So we are just going to, I have a set of like blue tones and red tones or crimson red and yellows. So kind of like to make a fire. So we're going to, I usually put a little bit of water. It's got a little bit of water, so we can put a little bit of, doesn't have to be perfect. So the center, you want to put your reds, your dark reds. Then we're going to put some oranges. You can't really tell about the orange. So like the blues, we're going to do them at the edges. So we're just going to glue maybe a little bit of lines here and there because it's going to represent some fire. So we've got these little things like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, which is going to turn it a little bit. You can see the green. So don't be scared of it. It's not supposed to be perfect because this is a fire. So we just want the tones of fire, which is something like that. I'm going to put a little bit more red here and there. I'm using this crimson red, but you can use your own, a darker orange. So basically you're just going to, like fire. So you can see your tones there. So I'm going to use the same. I'm going to wet it because it has a little bit of water there. I'm going to put reds here. But I like the blues right at the edges because, that's kind of where the oxygen kind of goes when you have a fire. If you look at the fire in your fireplace, so we're going to do this. And then we're going to put a little bit of yellow. Maybe from the inside and push out the other. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use your any type of colors because it's foam, so you can even use markers actually. So we're going to do this, and I'm going to just put a little bit more of this crazy crimson red here and there. So don't be scared. I know it looks kind of like, what? But that's your fire. So you've got your blues, purples, your reds, oranges, and your yellows. And you can use any type of colors. So I'm going to do just another one. So we can know we're going to try to use our tones of reds and oranges through the center. I'm going to do both sides at the same time so it can go a little bit faster. You're going to repeat for your 9 petals. I'm just going to put a little blues right at the edges, just for darker blues here and there. And then we're going to, put a little bit of our yellow. It's going to look greenish, kind of like some fires, I think I'm going to put a little bit of orange here and there. So just so it won't look, put it here. So there's another one. And we're going to repeat for both sides. Just put a little bit of water. Wow, the yellow. Look how pretty it looks. So it's starting to look like a fire. Once we thermoform it, it is going to take such a beautiful color, and it's going to look like fire. You're going to like it. So we're going to put more yellow here. So there you go. We're going to repeat for our 9 fire bud petals. There we go. How to thermoform a batwing petal. So we have our template cut out on our craft foam, Blossom EVA foam. We warm up the center line and we pinch it all the way. Make sure the edge, the little tip is very pointy. And then we follow our other little line like a batwing. And we make sure our point, our little tip is very pointy. So we do 3 pinches to the form of the batwing. And then we're just going to stretch out all the edges. You don't have to ruffle them. You just stretch out like a batwing skin. And you stretch, stretch, stretch. You stretch this, and this little edge, we're going to twist it to the outer edges. This other part, we're going to twist to the outer edges. And then we're just going to make this little, very small crease in here. And another very small crease in here. And there's your batwing petal or leaf. How to thermoform a batwing petal. So we have our template cut out. We heat the center of our craft foam to give the little vein of the batwing. And then on the other side, which is previously painted, we follow the same line. We make sure these tips are very pointy. We heat up and thermoform this other edge. We make sure the tip is very pointy. We're going to stretch all the sides like the bat wing skin. So we just stretch, 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 stretch. We just twist here and twist here. So we have our 12 wires here, and we are just going to glue. You can use your heat gun, every wire to the back of each leaf. So I'm going to use my 369 glue, which is, I'm just kind of used to it. You can use your glue gun. So I just glue this here, hold it with this, and we glue. You may want to put a little bit extra because I didn't put enough. You may want to pinch it a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit more black here. So here's one. So the style is a little bit, you know, you curve it here and then you curve it like that. And there's your bat wing. Look at that. And this is a petal. So we're going to go to the next one. And we're just going to put our glue. And I'm just going to hold it down. If you're using the silicone glue, try to hold it down and do it as fast as possible so the glue won't dry. And hold it down. Make sure it's pressed. And then you do want to pinch it on top around the wire so it looks a little bit more dramatic. And there we go. So we're going to do the next one. Let me move them so it can all come out right here in the center of the video. So I'm just going to pass my glue. Press your wire. And while it's going, you want to maybe pinch it. Just so it'll stick better. And there's your, and you can barely see it in the back. Next one. So we're just going to glue all 12 of these. And I'm just going to time lapse the rest so it won't be so, the video won't be so long. Feel free to leave comments, questions. You can leave them on the membership, on the YouTube channel, or directly in the website chat, which is what I get most, I see faster. And I'm just going to turn it around and pinch this. And there you go. So we're going to continue also pieces. So we are now going to start thermoforming and wiring our bud petals. So we're going to get our wires from our kit, the 22 gauge ones, and we are going to cut right in half around here. There's 5 wires, so you're going to have one left over. So we're going to have our heating, whatever we're using as an instrument, and we're going to go through the center of it. And we're going to have a little pinch where we're going to glue our wire. And then on this side, we're just going to do a little kind of bend to the inside, so it's a little bit not as flat. And we're going to go like that. You see? Maybe look out in. Ooh, this one was not painted in the back. Am I missing one? Well, I'll paint it a little bit in a while. But so let me grab another one. Let's do it again. So we're going to warm it up here and pinch the center. And then make sure this one, because that's where we're going to wire it, right here. You see this little bend? And then we're going to do one side, and just with our fingers, just roll it a little bit toward the inside. And on the other side, roll it a little bit toward the inside. Kind of for it to look kind of like a little thing like that. And then here's the fun part. So we're going to do the top part. And these little fires, we're going to twist them like that, because they're like little flames coming out. And then the center one, we're just going to make like a twist. Kind of like that. And then we're going to follow the same thing over here. We're going to make this little flame, and this is going to be a little twist. And on this other side, we're going to make a little flame, and this is going to be a twist. And then these almost last 2, and then we're going to make a little twist. Now, if you want to cut a little bit more in, so it could, I'm going to cut a little extra in, just so it can twist a little bit more. And then this other part, this twist, and then we're going to do this kind of bending. So can you see? And there it is. How cute. How cute is that? It's a little flame. So this is what I call fantasy flowers. And this is twisted. This one is bent and twisted. Now on the back side, we're going to grab one of our wires, and we're just going to get our glue, and we're going to glue it like 3/4 way through it. Oh, I need my little closed up. So I always use just a needle to go through this when it closes up, because you don't want it showering like really strong. That's if you're using this glue. So I'm just going to push this little needle through it, you know, the thinnest possible, because you just want a little drop coming out. So I'm just going to go, there we go. And we're going to put our wire in, hold it, make sure it glues. So I'm just going to put a little bit dab in here, because this one you don't want it to show. And there you go. There's your little fire. And then we're going to, in the next step, we're just going to fire it up like that. And there's your little bud. It's a fire flame. So let's do another one. Through the center first. And we pinch this line. Make sure it's properly pinched. Then we're going to go through the sides, and just with a finger kind of like roll it like this, make it a little bit going like that, you know, towards the inside. You don't want it flat. Then we're going to do the other side, and we're going to put our finger, roll it through the inside. So there you go. Now we're going to do the top part. We're going to twist and twist these like that. Something like that. And then we go to this other, we twist this and we twist this up. Because these are your little flames. So we're going to do the next one. We make this little bend and we twist these. This other one, we make this little band and we twist these. These are your little flames. That's why those ones have a little bit extra blue. Because, you know, like if you see the flame, the flames will always be like kind of bluish at the end. Well, not always, but, you know, it depends on the type of fire. But this one is like that. So we're going to continue this with all our nine petals. We're going to glue. We're going to put a little bit of glue. Oops. Put in our wire and close it up. Make sure you get the wire like half, you know, 3/4 way, like all the way to the top. I put it a little bit too short. I mean, it's fine, but you know, because when we're going to put it in, the top ones will be a little bit twisted like that towards the upside. So there's your flame. Look at that gorgeousness. So let's continue with all our petals. So we are now going to start thermoforming our leaves. It is going to be so easy and it's going to look so scary. So we're going to, first of all, where we're going to put our wire, we're going to heat the center part all the way to the big tip. And we're going to stretch it a little bit. Not only crimp it, but we're going to stretch it. Because this one has to be like very, very pointy. You know, like little Dracula nails. So, and then we're going to do the same thing here, all the way to the point, like little Draculas. So you may want to do on some and some others, the ones you like the best. Like I'm going to crimp this one here and stretch a little. Now on the rest, where you don't go all the way down, what you do want to do is just make this pointy. These little pointy kind of scary little, can you see? Like little teeth, like Dracula teeth. Very scary. So it's kind of like a scary, pointy leaf. You see that? So we're going to do that on these other two. So I'm going to run a line to this one from the center. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see on the black color. And these two, we're going to make a pointy little finger. And right here, we're going to make a pointy little finger. Like crow's nail. Like, look at that, how pretty it's starting to look. So we end this on the bottom. I'm going to make this line to the bottom here. Make sure we get that little line. Can you see those two things, like from the bottom? And then this one, you want to make your little crow's finger. I'm going to make, you see how there's a line here? Like right through here. I'm going to make another one right through the center, all the way to this center. So you can see that one's crimped right here. And these two little fingers, we're going to make little crow's nail. So it's just a little crow nail and a little crow nail. You see? So you got the center, 1, 2, and then this one and this one. And you have like a top one here, and we're going to try to make one of these. Well, we already have that one, kind of. But we're going to push it all the way, our little crow feet. So once we have this here, we're going to get our glue. I'm going to use my craft glue. Or you can use your glue gun or whichever. I just like craft glue a little bit better. Put a hole through it just because I don't like too much glue coming out, because it gets kind of so we're just going to put our wire all as tall as possible, because here you can play around with the bends, you know. So I'm just going to turn it around and make sure it's very pointy. So I'm going to do this, kind of twist it down. And there you go. You see, it's like a woo grabbing you. You can do this and then kind of like twist it here and then down here and then go down here, and it's like a very evil hand. And there you go. And this is what's going to go in our giant PVC pipe. Now we're going to repeat on the other, and we're going to leave these for the end to close up our flower. And let's just repeat on this one, and we are ready for the next step. So we are now that we have finished all our fire bud petals, we're just going to have to, you can grab your floral tape from your kit, and it is very easy. We're going to start with 3, 3, and 3. So we're going to use this part in the front, facing 3 of them like that. And we're just going to wire them right at the very edge. We're just going to, tape them. We're going to cut a little piece of tape, and we're just going to tape right at the edge. We're going to wrap our 3 wires, and we're just going to do like 1/2 inch to 1 inch, like just a tiny little bit like that. And we're going to add 3 more. So before we add them, what I always do is these I am going to fold completely towards, this one's the front, the top side, so we're going to fold to the down side, right there. Right there. And right there. So we're going to add these 3. I don't know if you can see. It's like 1, like 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And we're going to grab 1, 2, and 3. So we want these 3 to be at the same level, just a little bit below. So we're going to keep on wiring. We're going to keep on using a floral tape, try to get it as strong as possible. Now from here, we're going to have another tiny little, you can see it's like 1/2 inch from the edge to here. So we're going to use this, but we're going to let it a little bit out. This is the top part, the one that has them. So we're going to calculate a little 1/2 inch of the wire and bend there. So that's a little 1/2 inch here, because you want the fire to look like it's coming out. So that's a little 1/2 inch. We bend right there. And here's a little 1/2 inch, and we bend right there. So then we're going to add these 3 right between the previous. So it's going to look like a little fire flame. And then we add another one. And it just comes a tiny, that little 1/2 inch just makes it come a little bit out, a little bit more, and you can't tell much of a difference. So we're going to do the 3rd one. And we're just going to wrap it all the way down. Wrap, 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 wrap. And every time they come getting sturdier. And then you will just open them up a bit. So you can see right here is, you can see your stem right here. So it looks like a beautiful fire. And this is your fire bud. So this will go inside your bat wings. So you're going to open these up. And you're going to try, let me see if I can get it right in the middle. You're going to try these, the first 3 ones, right in the middle of those 3. You're going to give it a little twist. You can pull these out and twist it back down, these first 3. And then you've got these other 3 that come out kind of like they're in the middle of a fire. Very, very intricate. So I don't know if you can see that. So that's your fire. Gorgeous. So we want to see it inside the petals. So now we're going to work on the bat wing petals. So you've got your fire coming out. You may want to close these. And there you go. Look at that gorgeousness. So now we're going to work on the first layer. So you're going to grab 6 of your bat wing petals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 of them, and we're going to do 1 layer. And what we're going to do is, this is the top part, so this goes 90 degrees down, right at the edge. You can see that? So 1, and we close right there, right at the edge. 2, 3, I'm turning it this way, I'm putting it upside down. 4, 5, and 6. So it's very simple. We're going to, as you can see, I have a little video regarding, you know, if you want to do it as perfect as possible. So I'm going to use this little circle I have here. But, you know, you just want to calculate your 6 petals, you know, because they've got to be like evenly distributed right to the center. Right to the center. So you got your 3rd there. Because we're just going to put a little dab of glue once it's like organized. Now I want you to be careful in this part. The last one, you don't want it on top of this one and on top of this one. You want it on top of this one, and this overlaps on this side. So they're supposed to be overlapping evenly, right? So you've got your, you can see it like that. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue like on each little lapping, because you want it to be like perfectly like a, I mean, they're bat wings, but kind of like a cobweb, you know. So I'm actually going to use now my silicone glue. So you want it as perfect as possible. And I'm just going to put a little dab here, just a little dab, just so they won't move while we start taping them. So you see a little dab right there, a little dab right there. a tiny little dab right here. You will glue later on a little bit more, but this is just to get the proper structure going. So make sure you press your little dabs properly. And we've got our little tab here. I'm going to put a little dab over here. And a little dab over here. So look at that, how cute it looks. So make sure it all kind of holds as straight as possible, just at the edge. And there we go. Now we're still gonna give them a little form, but this is to be able to we're gonna put our fire in there before we put the other 6 petals. So once the fire is in there, we're gonna turn it around, cut a little piece of tape right here, and we're going to wrap this up. Let me turn it around so you can see. It's a little bit harder because I'm used to doing it looking down, so I have a little hard time doing it the other way around. So just so you can see as tight as possible, we're going to wrap our floral tape. We still have to add the other petals, so don't worry about this. I just want you to see this part. So it'll be very sturdy because we're going to floral tape it like twice. So as you can see, it's a little bit complicated for me doing it the other way around. But here you go. So we are going and there you go. So you see this little fire? Now these are going to go a little bit towards the upside. We're going to shift them in. And now we're going to get ready for adding the other part. And look how pretty it's looking. Ooh, scary. It is a scary flower. So let's go to the other part. So now that we have our flower, I closed it up a bit. If you can see it, it's a little bit closed. So you're going to want to push them down. And I'm standing up so you can see, like, we have it straight. So you have to see it like from the part up. So is it straight? I'm going to use now my 369 glue, my craft glue, which is, you can use your silicone glue. I'm just used to this one and it's just kind of easier for me. But I use a very thin needle all the time to make sure not too much comes out. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit sturdy. I'm just going to make sure my overlapping is glued properly. Because you don't want it flapping. The other, you see that? So you want it as sturdy as possible. Now, the other part of the flower, that one's going to be flapping. They're kind of like bat wings, kind of between petals and leaves. So we're going to have this right here. I'm going to glue this. You can use your heat gun. I'm just going to close it a little bit more here so it can be a little bit more. So I'm just going to hold. So we got right here, we need just this one little dab right here. So now for our next 6 petals, these are going to be a little bit different. So this is the top part. We're going to calculate 2 inches. You can see that. 2 inches, I have 1, 2, 3 square, and then we're going to twist it down. So these are going to be coming out a little bit. So these 2 inches from the edge, 1, 2, and we're going to, I'm holding them upside down, so that's why. This one you can always pull, because this one's closing up a little bit. Probably got a little bit squashed there, so you got 2 inches. We close it down. 2 inches. We fold. Right here, 2 inches. We fold up. And 2 inches. We fold up. So now we're going to do that the same thing, right? You're going to have to, you know, it's easier if you stand up. You're going to have to make sure that this, the little edge, is between these two. Okay, so you may want to push your heat gun or your, I'll open it up in a bit, but you want to do this to it right there. And then you're going to want to do this one right here between these two. Of course, you can move it around. Then we're going to do a little bit of glue. And then you have it right there. You have this one right here between these two. I'm just going to turn my heat gun on so you can see how that one's going to just open up a little bit right here. And then we're going to do this right there, right in the middle of these two. Can you see 1, 2? And then this one right in the middle of these two. Oh, we got this one, and then this one right in the middle of these two. So you've got your kind of little thingy here, your little flying contraption flower, scary, scary flower, and we're just going to cut another little piece of floral tape and do the same thing we did. We just do the same thing. Don't worry if they move a little bit. You will have a chance to fix them up once that are tied. I'm going to tie them twice because I'm just kind of using it like a tape right now. Going like that. So this is the part that's going to go into your PVC bendable pipe. You may want to cut this. It's a little bit too long for me. So you may want to leave it. It's really totally up to you. So what I'm going to do right now is, first of all, you got to make sure one is in between each of these two, right? So we got this one. Let me grab my heat gun so we make sure these open up, okay? So let me find my heat gun. So here's our heat gun, and we are just going to give it a little bit because I think it closed up. I was keeping it. So that's it right here. I'm just going to make sure this opens up a little bit. And that's it. Just hold it opening up. If you want to put a little dab of glue in the middle here, so you don't want, I mean, this wire's not really going to show because it's the bottom part of the flower, but you know, you may, they will be looking at it from every single angle because it's really quite a sight. So you're gonna push it down, just a little bit of heat. You know, so every time if you have something like that going on, you know, heat fixes it completely. You want to press it down here. And then every single one of these, this little tip right here in the back is going to glue to right in the middle of these. Let me see, make sure you can see. You see right there? So I'm going to make a little dab of glue right there. Right there, a little dab of glue, and you're going to glue it. Make sure it doesn't move. So you got this one glued right there. And you see how it's twisted here? So we just want to open it up. Use a little bit of your heat and make sure it's as straight as possible. So now we're going to do this it's right in the middle of these two. So you're going to do the same thing here. Verify it's right in the middle of these two. So it's right here, and we're going to put a dab of glue there and make sure it glues. Right there. So you're in the middle of these two. You're going to move around because it's kind of pretty big. I think this flower stands over 22 inches. Our kids say 22, but you know, there's sometimes they just come out bigger. So you're going to put a little dab of glue and make sure it's right in the center of these two little things in the previous layer. So we're going to do here the same thing. Move them around. Make sure it's right in the middle and just a little dab of glue. So it's right there. It's holding its place. And then we're going to go right here in the middle of these two, right here, you can see. And we're just going to put a little dab of glue. And there we go. And the last but not least, right here in the middle of these two, you can see. And we are going to dab it right there. So now it's really up to you to make these, like, you may want to look them like droopy, you know, like super droopy down. I'm going to put them a little bit droopy so you can see. You can try it many ways and then maybe point these back up. You know, like, I don't know, can you see how this droops down? You're making a curve like down and up. So you may want to do that. Now look at how beautiful this thing looks. Can you see? And we are going to, you do want to close the center of your fire, because that's like, if you see it sideways, it's a gorgeous thing. So we are going to go to the next part, and it is looking awesome, amazing, fabulous. Scary flower. So we now take our bendable PVC pipe, aluminum PVC, and we're going to stretch it out. You know, stretch it out. Make sure you don't make a bend. I mean, you can open it up, but it doesn't angle. It just makes curvatures. So you do want to leave the end a little bit looking down. And you do maybe want to make a little bend here. Just slowly, slowly. You have to do it very slowly. You don't want it to make an angle bend. I mean, you'll fix it, but nothing matters. So we're going to take our floral tape from our kit and open it up. Well, let's take the plastic off. Oh boy. Hope I don't cut too much, but I'm just going to cut the plastic out. I did cut a little bit of the tape. Oh, I think they put too much plastic on this one. And we're going to take our brown tape out of our kit. And we are going to start taping. You may want to use a little bit of brown floral tape on this. I am going to do it because I'm going to leave them out, kind of like reaching out. So I'm going to cut a little bit of this and just wrap this so you don't see the green, you know, and it looks part of like a branch. So I do want it reaching out. You know, sometimes you put directly to this like that, but I want it a little bit coming out. It's really up to you. I'm going to do it like this. So they look a little bit more like scary hands. And then we do the other one. Just kidding. I don't need that much actually, because I don't need it all the way down. I just need like 2 inches. So here you can see we have a little bit. So I'm just going to cut that out. And we're just going to wrap our floral tape around these little ones. And it is going to be the cutest Halloween flower. Scariest. Batwing Fireflower. They're scary, but they're also made by God. So here we go. We're going to take the top part. I always start at the top. So I am going to put a little dab of glue because, you know, although the wax of the doesn't hold that well over the PVC pipe, you're just going to have to keep on rolling around your PVC pipe. So we're going to start. I think I rolled it the other way around. But, oh no, I got it right. I always roll like that towards the outside so it rolls and you don't have to be. There we go. We got it. So you can see right here, we're rolling our branch. We're rolling all our branch. And approximately, so the flower will open all the way here. You want to see the hands come out. So I'm going to give it a little bit more. And I'm going to put in one hand right here. I'm going to leave like 2 inches and bend that out. So we're going to roll it in there. Roll that little scary hand out there. And then we're going to roll the other one on the other side. Moves a little bit too much, but we are fixing that, not to worry. So I put this one over here, so I'm going to put this one over here. So here we go. So you can see that the hands are rolling. It's better to fold them afterwards. So here we go. And I'm getting off the camera. So look how gorgeous this is. We're almost done. All the way down. So I'm just going to grab, stretch it out so I won't have to. And then here we go. And just make sure you get a little bit of silicone glue. And I'm just going to push it in there. So look at how this gorgeous thing looks. Try to use a little bit of dab of glue here to hold this in place. And this one too. So I'm going to use this one, but here I do prefer silicone because the wax of the floral tape is not as good with a craft glue than it is with silicone. You may, just going to give it a little tie up here with light, small one. Just because I folded it beforehand. So I'm just going to do this so it can be tight. And then put a little dab of glue. Right there.
And then we're going to do the same thing here, because this one's just two going around. And we are going to cut. Okay, you got it. And we are just going to tie it pretty well. I should have done this before the giant one, the giant floral tape, but it's a good thing so you know how to, you can fix little things. Because lots of this is kind of fixing things. So look at that. How gorgeous that looks. So now we're going to bring in our flower. Well, we need to put in some silicone glue here. I'm going to use this one. Doesn't work that well, but I don't have the silicone glue on right now, so that's going to have to be as good as it gets for the moment. So you've got your base. Now we've got our flower back in. So look, you see sideways. You see how these are turning down like of these bat wings. So the only thing we're going to do is put it in here. I mean, it's kind of hard with with the ring light and camera on top, but you're going to put it right in there, and then